I've done a little damage this week, starting with 2 orders from Beautylish. Wayne Goss released his new, it'd be his 2nd anniversary brush collection, and I'd gotten a lot of inquiry when I posted a picture of the brush set on Instagram, so I thought I would kind of give you guys some comparisons to the brushes that are already in the line. So if you wanted to buy them individually, there's actually a few in the anniversary collection that are already kind of part of his permanent range. So I'll go ahead and start off with those one. This first one is the number 1 brush. It's the same brush that came out in the 1st anniversary collection. And I used mine yesterday from the 1st collection, that's why it's dirty, because I wanted to see if I would like it a little bit more, because I typically don't use a brush like this. And it does work really nice for cream products. I just prefer, like for a liquid foundation and stuff, I really like to use more of a buffer brush. This is a dual fiber where the longer hairs are synthetic, and then you've got, I believe it's Sihoko Goat, that comes up to about right there. It just takes a little bit more effort to do the foundation with a brush like this, as opposed to like the Beauty Blender or like a solid like synthetic buffing brush. But just to go ahead and show you guys for comparison here, that is one of the brushes that came in the range. And this brush is exclusive to his anniversary sets. He doesn't sell it separately. So that is the number 1. And it's got an angle to it, as you can see. Next up is the number 2 brush. You can see that his anniversary collection does come with the laser etched pink writing. The number 2 brush in this collection is the same as the number 10 brush in his permanent range. So here's the number 10 right here, and then here's the number 2. Again, super soft goat hair brush. Then the next brush is the number 3 brush, which is right here from the anniversary collection, and I've got it next to the number 16 brush, which is in his permanent collection. Right there, and again, another goat hair brush. And then you've got the number 4 brush, which is right here, and that is the same as the number 17 brush in his permanent range. Another goat hair eye brush. The next brush in the collection is the number 5 brush. So this is the one from the anniversary 2, and it's the white one. So it's a goat hair brush. Here is the one from the anniversary collection number 2. And the difference between the two, the shape is the same, but the difference is the last year's version is a squirrel hair, and then this year's is goat. And I have it next to the number 20 brush, which is in his permanent range, just for size reference. The number 20 is bigger than the number 5 from the anniversary collection. You're going to get more of a blend with the goat hair brush. It's a little bit more firm than the squirrel. The squirrel has a little bit more flexibility to it. It's softer. So that's kind of the difference between the hairs. Your goat's going to pick up a little bit more product as well than your squirrel hair brush. Next up is the number 6 brush. So here's the one from the anniversary collection right here. And then I've got that next to the number 18. This is the new 18 Goss brush. His older 18 is a flat shader. So you can see that these are pretty much the same brush right here. So this is the new 18 next to the anniversary collection number 6. And again, those are goat hair. These next 2 brushes are the most different in his line. He doesn't have any brushes like these 2. And that is the number 7 brush, which is a smaller flat shader than the older Goss 18, which let me grab that to compare for you guys. So here's the older Goss 18. It's one of my absolute favorite eye brushes, and he quit making it. But there is the newer number 7 from the anniversary collection, so you can see the size difference in there. I like this little brush. As you can see, I have used it, but again, I do prefer the number 18 brush. I really wish he never discontinued that, and I wish I would have bought a couple more. And then the last brush is the number 8 brush. Again, he doesn't have one quite like this in his collection. This is supposed to be pure white, but I had used it yesterday for like a cushion eyeliner. I didn't really like the eyeliner that I used it with, and I'm not nuts about using a brush like this for eyeliner. It will be good if you like to get really close to the lash line and not really wing it out, I guess. When I try to wing it out, the line is a little bit more difficult to get a swoop line with a straight brush like this, at least for me. But for that kind of underneath, you can use it like a push liner brush, and then underneath the lash line, it'll work good. This brush is a synthetic brush too. I should have worked a little harder to try to clean it, but it still has some black eyeliner in it. So that is the number 8 brush. And then I also caved and got 2 more of the Sonia G brushes. She is a brush connoisseur. If you guys watched my last video, you've seen me haul some other of her brushes, and I really love the brushes that I got the first go around. And today I use this fan brush as a bronzer brush, and it works great to contour and then blend. I really enjoyed it. Like, I'm tempted. I know I'm going to end up getting a little fan brush, and I probably am going to buy another one of these big fan brushes because it's so nice. Super soft. The shape of it, I feel like, is really unique for a fan brush. brush, and it's just, look at how plush it is. And the handles on these guys are just stunning. So this is the Sculpt One brush. Again, from Sonia G. I'll link her Instagram down below. She's, like I said in my last video, she's like a brush connoisseur, handmade in Japan. And then the other brush I got is called the Builder One, and I was hoping that this would be something like that older flat shader from Wayne Goss that I really love that I just showed you guys. But this one's a little bit different. Like, it's shorter. It's not as large as the Goss 18, and this is the side. It comes to such a fine point, like the construction of the shape and how the hairs are so perfectly angled to get that little point is just, it's pretty cool. I think that some people will really like this to put eyeshadow underneath. Again, the bristles on these are super soft. I kind of was using it to blend out the outer corner of my eyeshadow today and stuff like that, but I'm glad that I got it. It's not quite like the Goss 18. Again, it's a little bit smaller, but it's a nice brush nonetheless. Let me compare it to the Goss 18. The old Goss 18. So this one's no longer available. Goss 18 right here, and then here's the Sonia G. It's called the Builder One for reference. Look at the point that you get on that guy. Use my face as a background. Super stunning brushes from both Wayne Goss and Sonia G. Also from Beautylish. I purchased my first Inglot Pigment, and this is the pigment in number 35. I had heard really good things about them, and I'm like, I'm going to give those a try. The color is very unique. It is like a purple gold. I haven't used it yet, but it is a really pretty color. Let's get a swatch before I dump this all over the floor. So again, this is pigment number 35. Silvered purple gold, I guess is how I describe it. Ooh. Got a chunk on my hand there. And then lastly from Beautylish, I did purchase the Sugarpill and Little Twin Stars eyeshadow palette. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know a lot about the Little Twin Stars, but I like the colors in here. It was like real pastel-y and spring, and the packaging is super cute. And then of course Sugarpill eyeshadows rarely disappoint. So there are 6 eyeshadows in here, and they're 0.08 ounces per shade, which is a ton of product that you're getting. So here are the shades. There is one matte eyeshadow, and that's Star Ribbon. These two, well, let's see, Cloudmaker, Twinkle Twinkle, and Wish are pretty metallic, and then Dream Dust and Sky Candy are kind of like satin shimmers. So let's give you guys some swatches here. I'm excited to I want to put this guy all over the lid. I'm probably going to do that tomorrow. It's the top 3. There. And then these bottom 3 shades. I don't think that I'll get like a standalone look from just this palette. I'll definitely probably incorporate something else in it. But the shadows are very pastel shades. So that's the Sugarpill and Little Twin Stars eyeshadow palette. And then here's the packaging. It's cute. And then I saw on Instagram that Milk came out with, I think they came out with 2 new shades of their glitter stick, and I hauled the one in Techno in my last video, and then they came out with a purple one, and I can't remember what the other colors, but I just purchased the purple one, and the shade is New Wave. It's just got a purple hint to it. I have got this on the top of my cheekbones today, layered underneath another highlighter that I'm going to show you guys. I don't think it's kind of necessary to have both of them. The formula on these sticks is rather thick, and it's got quite a bit of like hydration to it, so what I like to do is rub it on the back of my hand, and then I take a beauty blender after it, and I feel like the beauty blender kind of soaks up some of that excess hydration, and then I pounce it on my face. But I really have been enjoying both of these sticks underneath other highlighters. Today when I used the New Wave on, I pounced it on with the beauty blender, and it actually looked really pretty without another highlighter on top of it. But I really wanted something intense on the top of my cheek, so I just went for it. But I'm going to swatch it next to Techno again. I don't think that both of them are necessary to like own, but they are both fun products to have. So you can see the Techno has got a little bit more pink to it, and then the New Wave has got a hint of purple. So there is Techno and there is New Wave in the glitter stick from Milk. Then I also purchased the new Nars Danger Control eyeshadow palette. The packaging is super pretty. This almost feels like a kind of like a metal plate on the front. And there are 6 eyeshadows in here. Each one is 0.07 ounces, so they're pretty large in size. I'm not very impressed with this. 4 out of the 6 shades in here are really flaky and like dry feeling. It's just not what I was expecting, I guess. This color in the center is a good one. But I'll give you some swatches anyway. But I mean, compared to some of the shadows that have been coming out recently, these just really fell short for me. So I do like this center color. This is one of the good ones. And then these bottom 3. They're really dry and really flaky feeling. So a lot of light shades, but they all have a different duochrome to them. You see that one's got a strong gold one, strong pink, and there's a purple. Oh, it's just... So that is the Nars Danger Control eyeshadow palette. Again, I feel like the shadows could be a lot smoother than what they are, with the exception of this guy. That's a pretty one. Then next up, we've got the new Makeup Forever Starlit Glitter eyeshadow palette. I was super excited when I saw this guy, like the pictures on Instagram with swatches and stuff like that. There are 6 eyeshadows in here, and each shadow is 0.05 ounces per shade. That is what the packaging looks like. It's cardboard with a magnetic closure, and it does have a mirror in there. I have got these 2 shades right here on my lid today. It really looks like I put like a Stila glitter and glow shadow over the top, but I didn't. I just packed this over. I used the Lily Lolo eyeshadow primer duo, which is pretty tacky in itself, but that's the shine. I did kind of have to jab my brush in there to get the product to be picked up, but it went on a lot more, I guess, intensely than I had anticipated that it would. So it's got pretty good pigmentation for like the formula. The formula is a relatively unique texture. It almost reminds me of that formula of the Kat Von D Extreme Highlighter palette and the Maybelline holographic highlighter that I've showed you guys before. That's the type of texture that these kind of have. They're super shiny. So let me give you guys some swatches. Not a typical eyeshadow texture, I guess I would say. So these are the 2 that I have on my lids today. This white one has got a strong pink duochrome to it. But they're just... And I thought, you know, that I was going to have a lot more fallout to them because of how high shine they were. And while I did have some fallout, it wasn't like terrible. Let me get a little more of this. I didn't think these were going to swatch very well. I used that flat shader, that old Goss 18 brush, and picked up the product with those and packed it on my lid. But the shine is really intense with glitter in it. And then these next 3. So look at how shiny. They're so shiny. I do recommend a more tacky base with these guys. They're so pretty. They have a different texture to them than a lot of the shadows, and there is micro glitter in here as well. And again, not as much fallout as I had anticipated with as much like glitter as there are in them. I do feel like the packaging on this guy could have been a little bit smaller, or either they could have put a couple more shades in here, because there's only 6 shades in here. Granted, it's a decent amount of product, but the packaging is really large. Also from Sephora, I finally bit the bullet and bought this Moschino. I know I butchered it when I was doing the Bear eyeshadow palette. And Sephora, it's called the Shopping Bag Eyeshadow Palette. It's cute, right? The packaging, not gonna lie, it's pretty cheap, but this is made in the USA. Yes, it is. And there are 6 eyeshadows in this guy that are 0.042 ounces per shade. The colors just looked really appealing, and I wore this the other day, and these are some really nice eyeshadows. They're really pigmented, they blended really well. There are 2 shimmers in here, which are those guys, and then the other 4 are matte. The only thing that I feel like it was lacking was a matte brow bone shade, which I just pulled out the Wet n Wild Brulee for underneath the brow, but otherwise the colors are really pretty. So that's the Moschino and Sephora bag eyeshadow palette, I guess. The first 3 shades, bottom ones. Lastly, from Sephora, I purchased one of the Artist Couture Diamond Glow Powders. This is a relatively new launch to Sephora, but I have seen that these highlighters have kind of been around for a while. I purchased the shade Coco Bling, and there are 0.16 ounces of product in here, and I believe it was $27. And it comes in a little jar with a sifter in it. Now, this is really pretty. It gives a super high shine on the top of the cheekbones. I wore it yesterday. It does have a little bit of a drier, grittier texture than something that I'm used to. And again, like I said, it's really pretty. But I'm going to tell you what my issue is with it here in a minute. Oh, let me get a little more here. Pack it on there. So that's Coco Bling from Artist Couture. And it is a really pretty product, but there are 3 ingredients in here for the most part. Mica, titanium dioxide, and iron oxides. And then there's a couple you'll see like numbers after it. It would be the tints of the iron oxides that they're using to kind of form that beigey type color. There's very little product in here, I think 0.16 ounces. And like, I've had this for a while, but I bought, it's called Crystal Ice Mica, and I got it off Coastal Scents. It used to be about up to here, but I've used it to mix my own type of powders before. So this is a kind of a pure, let's see here, ingredients. Mica, titanium dioxide. And this here is loaded with product. And let me swatch this one. This one's got a little bit more of a cooler feel to it because it doesn't have the pigmentation to make it a beige in there. But for me, this here is the same product as those highlighters, and for the price tag I just feel like I'm getting ripped off. Not that it's not pretty, because it really is, but I mean, like I said, you can get these huge tubs of this mica powder. It's like I said, mica and titanium dioxide for, I think this was $7. And then you can see the similarities. This one's a little bit cooler, icier, because like you could put a little bit of another oxide in there, like a yellow, to tint it that beigey color. But that's my only issue with it. Not that it's not pretty and stuff like that. It's just I feel like it's extremely overpriced and somebody's making a killing. Then Ulta recently sent out their 20% off coupon, so I took advantage of that and placed an order at Ulta. I purchased 2 products from Essence. This first one is the Metal Chrome Blush. It's a new product that I saw on the website. 0.28 ounces in here. This is number 10. My name is Gold, Rose Gold. Not nuts about this. It's kind of a stiff texture. It won't be like a very good blush on me. On a deeper skin tone, I think this would look really pretty as a highlighter, but it's not a blush shade for me. The texture is a little stiff on there, but not crazy about it. And then they came out with these cushion eyeliners, and I just got the 01 Black. And there's a ton, like when I push my brush in here, this thing is loaded. The little cushion thing is just saturated with product. It is very black. I found that it dries really shiny though, so I wasn't crazy about that. And it kind of dries really fast, which makes it a little bit harder to work with. If you just like to use a really thin amount of liner, you might like it. But again, it does dry pretty shiny. So I'm not crazy about this guy either. But also from Ulta, I picked up this Nars blush in the shade Threesome. Their names sometimes, I don't know. But it's a really pretty pastel baby pink, and this is what I have on my cheeks today. I've actually worn it for the last 2 days. It is a matte finish blush. It doesn't look like much in the pan, but on the cheeks, well, with my more pale skin tone, it turns out to be really pretty. Yeah, it really doesn't look like nothing in the swatch, but again, that's what I have on my cheeks for blush today. So that's Nars Threesome. And then Makeup Revolution came out with more shades of their Strobe highlighters. And I had originally purchased the shade Holographic Lights and really liked it. The reason I'm holding it up next to the one I have in my hands that's new is because these 2 shades are pretty much the same. The new one is called Northern Lights. There's 0.26 ounces of product in here, same with this one. And the old one is, again, Holographic Lights. These are pretty much the same, but I wanted to swatch them next to each other. And then there's 3 other shades, which I'm going to show you, which are super pretty. So here is Northern Lights, and then here is Holographic Lights. But these have got a more strong green undertone to them. Right there. So here is Northern Lights, and here is Holographic Lights. So they're pretty similar, these 2 shades. And then the 3 other shades are the one that I have on today on top of that glitter stick from Milk. And this is the shade Lunar. This is really, really beautiful. It's got a purple pink undertone to it. These are like $6. Totally worth the money, you guys. They have a baked, like a baked type of texture. And I also feel like the finish of these is sort of similar to like that Artist Couture. They're really frosty. So that one is Lunar. This next one is Supernova. This is really pretty. It's just like an icy white. Well, it's got a little bit of a slightly warm undertone. Or maybe it just looks like that next to the purple. And then this last one is Magnitude, and this one has got a yellow undertone to it. I just think these are great for the price tag especially. Pretty highlighters. And they're so inexpensive. They have some deeper shades in the range too that I saw online. Also from Ulta, I purchased the new Ofra Pillow Talk highlighter, and I left up the swatches from the Makeup Revolution so that I could compare it to this one here. This is also a really pretty highlighter, but I think, if memory serves me correctly, this is over $30. This has got a little bit more pink undertone. I'm gonna swatch it next to the other one. I think it's called Ice, if I can remember correctly. But this one is Pillow Talk. So you can see the similarities of this guy next to these ones right here. So these ones are like $6 and this one's like 30 something. Again, if memory serves me correctly, it's a lot more expensive anyway than these ones. And then let me go ahead and swatch it next to Glazed Donut. That's what the other one's called. I've had this one for a while, but it's more of a icy silver kind of white highlight, where Pillow Talk's got more of a pink undertone to it. But so those are the Pillow Talk from Ofra, and then Glazed Donut, and then here are the Makeup Revolutions. You know, there really just needs to come a point where I stop buying highlighters. Like, you'd think that I'd be over it by now, but I'm just not. I'm like, give me all the highlighters and all the glitter and put it all over my face. And then just today I got a PR package from theBalm, and I had seen these new bronzers on Instagram, and there was the shade Oscar, the lightest one. I was like, I need to have that because the undertones just looked really pretty. It looked like a more cool type of undertone. And it says on the packaging here that these are anti-orange bronzer. It's what it says. It says take home the bronze on the packaging. As always, theBalm has really cute packaging. The amount of product that you get in here is 0.25 ounces of product in here. I thought it would be helpful to go ahead and swatch these for you guys. I can't wait to put this on my face tomorrow. It's got just a really pretty undertone. The texture of it's really smooth, and it's just one that I think is going to look really nice on my skin tone. You can see it is pretty anti-orange, not a lot of warmth in it. So that one is called Oscar, and then this next one is called Tony. This is the warmest one out of the three, at least I feel like. But it's not really orange. But you can see when I swatch it next to the other shades that it is the one that has the most warmth in it. So that one is called Tony. And then the third one is called Graham E. This one here I think I really like too. It's very dark, so I'm going to have to use a light hand, but it has got a more reddy sunburnt undertone to it, which I happen to like. So there is Oscar, Tony, and Graham E right there. And you can kind of tell next to these ones here are so cool that it makes this one look like it's kind of orangey, but it's really not. It's just the warmest out of the three. And yeah, this guy I can't wait to put on tomorrow. And also a big thank you to theBalm for sending these over. I'm all about a cool tone bronzer, and those two just look like they're going to do it for me. I don't think I mentioned, but these are all matte bronzers as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.